Hey folks, so I'm going to talk a little bit about rigging a World War I biplane model. Now, rigging is a subject that gets some folks, especially those who have never built a biplane or a triplane or any sort of plane that requires rigging, bracing lines, control lines, a bit nervous, and probably for good reason because it can be awfully fiddly. Secondly, this is not a commercial, paid or otherwise endorsement of this particular brand of rigging line. Just happens to be stuff I like a lot. Model Kasten. It's made in Japan. Comes in two diameters. The 0.2 millimeter diameter for 1/32 scale, or recommended for 1/32 scale, and the smaller 0.13 millimeter recommended for 1/48 scale. This is flexible line. Unlike easy line, it's round, not flat. It doesn't have the elasticity of easy line. It's got less give, but I actually find that to be an advantage. This is what I have been using on both 1/48 scale and 1/32 scale bills recently, and I really like it. Now, for those who have been watching some of my other videos, you know I'm working on my current project is a Wingnut Wings 1/32 scale Albatros D5, and it's time to start paying attention or getting the, I'm going to call the rigging prep done on the wings. Now, here is one of the lower wings, the left wing. And as you can see, one thing that's really nice about Wingnut Wings is they actually provide they actually have those already in the molding. So you can see six little indentations there for where lines will go. Turnbuckles, anchor points, lines, whichever way you go. They're already there next to the bottom of the V-brace on the left wing. And over here, on this side near the wing root, there are 4 more indentations. Is it 4 or is it 5? I'm sorry, it's 5. Yeah, let's see if I can focus that. Yeah, there are 5 indentations right there. So lots of line going into concentrated places. Now, what's really great is you don't have to figure out where the line's going to go. In this case, Wingnut Wings has done that. But in terms of the way I'm going to be doing it, first of all, I'll go and locate the corresponding points which are on the underside of the upper wing. So here we've got the upper wing, one piece flipped over, and you can see that there are basically spots not only for the struts, those rectangular pieces for the V strut, but then you've got the holes for the control cables and the bracing lines here on the outside, here closer to the wing root, or right next to the cabane strut there. The larger hole there is for the cabane strut, top of the cabane strut, and then you've got other lines right there. Now, what I've done is those holes look probably, if you remember, they are a little bit larger than here because I drilled them out a bit, but not all the way through. And I used this little drill press here. It's a 0.6, which is more than sufficient. Some might say it's too big, but I find if I go any smaller than that in terms of starting to drill a hole or widening it, it's very easy to break those tips and needles off, and then that's a pain in the butt. So this is my preferred size. And here I just gave each of the holes just a little twist to open it up a bit. Now, what I decided to do on the bottom wing, the holes look a little bigger. I have drilled those through all the way through the wing. because what I'm going to be doing is attaching the lines. Before installing the top wing, I'm going to be using CA glue and touching in each end of a line into a corresponding hole with a little dab of CA glue. I do not use accelerant. I use a medium thick or medium viscosity CA glue. Hold it for about 10 seconds. That's more than sufficient for it to catch and have a starting of a bond. And then I just carefully piece each piece in, piece by piece. But again, those lines do not pass through. So let's see if I can do this here. See if I can pick this up with my left hand. I'm trying to pick up, there we go. Okay, this is gonna be tough. So, probably not, because I've got depth of field issues here, but I'll be putting that line, cutting lines, putting them in. There's the strut, there's a hole, and gluing those in and letting them all set. Now, what I will be doing is feeding after I've installed the top wing, I will be feeding those lines through the corresponding and the correct hole all the way through to the bottom, then using a clamp, tweezers, to basically provide tension, put in a drop of CA glue, let everything set, snip them off, fill in the hole from the bottom. Now, I'm going to stop here and feed a line through so you can see basically just how, you won't see me doing it. Sorry, I can't do that. But you'll see that there's plenty of room. Yes, in theory, I could have made the diameter of those holes smaller for the line I'm going to use. But this just makes it a whole lot easier. And besides that, I will construct at the end of the day, when I'm doing final assembly, I'll be making some turnbuckles and anchor points out of PVA glue and coating it so that you won't even see those holes. And the hole will be closed up and then painted on the underside as well. So hold on a moment, and then I will show you what it looks like just in terms of feeding the line through and what that's like, at least in terms of this before the wing is even installed. Okay, I threaded the line through and I used the larger diameter line, the 0.2 millimeter, threaded it through from the top side. Very easy, it took me about 2 seconds. Doesn't take much longer when you're working your way through. Of course, then I would be, these would already be secured, so I give it a little bit of a tension, and I'll demonstrate that when I get to that point for the rigging, which is near the end of the build. And then putting a clamp on, or a clamp, what I call clamp tweezers, or reverse pressure tweezers, that will allow for tension, put a drop of glue in, seal it all up. That is a whole lot easier, at least for me, than threading eyelets, threading through brass tubes, and the process works pretty well. All the prep comes at the beginning, and then basically when you're doing the rigging, it's a pretty quick process.